Hi, everyone, and welcome to Statistical Reasoning. My name is Dr. Matt Selba, and I'll be your instructor for the course this semester. Really looking forward to having you all in class on Tuesday, and the purpose of this video is really just to help you get familiar with the course page, as well as give you a little bit of information about the course. So if you're on our course page, you should see a welcome message, and I just introduced myself there. Make sure you know that our first class is on Tuesday, August 25th from 6 to 6 p.m. And that the main course goes from 6 to 7:50 p.m. and then the support class goes from 8 to 8:50 p.m. Okay, so just so you are aware, there's kind of two courses in one, MAT162, and then there's also MAT062, which is the support class associated with this class. And they're together. Okay, definitely take some time to look over the course before our first night. This course page, as you all are watching the course orientation video, you're in really good shape as long as you kind of follow along with the video here. Okay, for the textbook, if you could please obtain the textbook from the bookstore. It's titled "Introductory Statistics: Analyzing Data with Purpose." In-class activity student pages. When you go to the bookstore, it'll have MAT 162 on the front of it, so look out for that. And the bookstore person should be able to help you out with finding it. Everyone here is in the support class. You do not need to purchase the support class book, the book that has MAT 062 on it. Personally, as your instructor, I don't use a lot of the pages directly from that book, so to save you some money, I'd rather you not have to buy it. Now, I do want to note, if you're a person who likes to type your notes, like you've traditionally done that in previous classes, and you think that's going to work out better for you, you can download the electronic version of each in-class activity for free for this course. And these can be found on our course page by clicking on the tab at the top that says Content, then clicking on the appropriate unit and lesson. So just to give you a preview of that, if I clicked on Content here, I'll open it in a new tab. And I scroll down to the unit that we're on. So I go into Unit 1, and then I go into Lesson 1C, for example, and I look for the document for 1C. I could go in there, find the document. I could download it as a Microsoft Word document or upload it to my Google Drive, and then I could edit the notes in there. So up to you if you prefer to do that. Personally, I really like the workbook or the textbook that this course offers, and I think it's worth the money to pay for it. It's not terribly expensive, and I think it's definitely going to be beneficial to have all of your notes in one place. Personally, I would grab the book. Student ID, for some of you, this may be your first course at Delta Tech, so definitely obtain your student ID card before arriving on campus if you can. There's a link with information to do so. I also ask that before class starts, everyone downloads and installs Microsoft 365 on your computer. And basically, it gives you a version of Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel for free as a Delta Tech student. So that's really helpful to kind of have that resource as a student because a lot of the work that we do for projects will be through Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. Okay. If you're an Apple or Mac user, make sure you change the setting in your Safari app if you use that. Otherwise, you can't access a lot of the assignments on this course page. For the weeks 1 to 2 assignments, each week I'll post an announcement with the assignments that are coming up, as well as kind of just a reminder of the times that we meet. So just as you can see here, the first night we'll be covering the Honors Pledge quiz, in-class activities 1A, 1B, 1C, and the project plan. And you can ignore this date. It says Tuesday, 5/19. That's not the date. So again, it's Tuesday, August 25th. That must be from a previous version of this announcement from a different class. So make sure it's not May 19th, right? August 25th. Okay. During this first week, you see the assignments that are coming up. I also hyperlink them here for you so that you don't have to scroll through like we did to find this page here. You can actually just click on the link and it takes you right to the assignment. I'll also send out a recommended work schedule, like kind of night by night, what I would complete and in what order so that you stay really organized. This course has a lot of smaller assignments, so organization is really a key to success, and my plan is to help you out with that. Okay. Some little information about me is here below. I'll go over that more in class, so I'd rather not talk about myself too much tonight and really just kind of give you the information that you need to get started with the course. Okay, let's just go ahead and take a look through the course page just so you're familiar with what's going on. Okay, so here if you click on Content on the left-hand side, and then you click on the Start Here button, And then within there, click on course information. You'll see several tabs. Again, you have some information about myself listed within there. You have the syllabus for the course. You have the course orientation video, which you're watching. Let's go ahead and click into the course policies and expectations. All right, so just give some background to the course. Welcome to Statistical Reasoning. This course helps you develop statistical reasoning skills meaningful in your professional, civic, and personal life. It involves active learning, whole class discussion, and group work, and you can kind of expect that each night of the course. Your success in the course is important to me, as I stated here. So I definitely think everyone here can get the grade that they want to earn as long as they kind of put the work in, and I'm here to help you out with that. Anytime you need to communicate with me, email is the best method. So full disclosure, I'm a high school math teacher as my full-time job, so this is just my part-time job. So, I'm not going to be, having an office at school that you can call. So the best way to contact me is via email. When you email me, just include your first and last name in the email, as well as like the section of the course that you're in, which is MAT162-40E. So just make sure you include that in addition to whatever concern that you have for the course. Okay. I don't have regularly scheduled student hours. If you need to schedule a meeting with me, definitely send me an email. I can meet before class, during our break time in class, or after class. And then also on Thursday evenings from 5 to 7, I can offer a Zoom meeting, a quick 20-minute Zoom meeting if you need anything, nothing more extended than that. Okay. We do have free tutoring services offered at Deltec. So if you need help with the math itself or the statistics itself, there are resources which I'll provide to you all in class, and I'll kind of tell you, when those tutoring sessions are for you to get help if you need more content help. Okay. So as you can see, the course materials are here. I talked a little bit already about the textbook. Calculator, you guys do not need to buy a calculator for the course. We're going to use an online calculator that some of you may have heard, the Desmos calculator. So if you go to desmos.com, that's the one we'll be using throughout the course. You also have the homework platform. This is included in your course purchase, so you guys do not need to buy this separately. You are going to have access to that through the course page here. You have Office 365 available for free from the college. Again, make sure you download that before our first night of class. There is a late work policy, so generally, we expect work to be completed on the assigned due date. However, we understand life happens. So when that does happen, we have kind of some backups just in case you have a rough week or a rough couple weeks where you need to submit assignments late. Okay. So in general, you have 3 types of assignments. You have preview assignments, practice assignments, and projects. The preview and practice assignments can be submitted late with a late pass, but there is a 15% penalty when you turn it in late. And these late passes actually have a cutoff date. So for the units 1 and 2, which is like your lessons 1 to 6, you can submit them up until October 1st, and after that, it would remain at 0. So just make sure you pay attention to these dates, and if you're ever having trouble getting caught up with work, make sure you're paying attention here as far as okay, when do I need to submit these date buys? And if you ever have any questions, definitely reach out to me. Cool. In terms of the project assignments can be submitted late as long as you communicate with me. These are your test grades. We don't have tests in this course, so your projects are kind of your main form of a summative assessment. So anytime you need to submit that late, you need to communicate with me. Generally, the checkpoints can be only submitted for a certain amount of time, similar to these preview and practice assignments, and then the final draft of the project can be submitted late with communication with me. Okay, so just look out. There is a late penalty for those as well, so just definitely try your best to submit things on time for the course. Okay, I always try to return your feedback for your course grades within a week. So that's every Saturday is my big grading day, sometimes Friday. So just look out for your updated grades every Friday or Saturday. Attendance is very important. This is a hybrid course, so we actually meet on Tuesday evenings. And then what we would have done maybe 10 years ago is you would have had a class also on Thursday. However, with technology, we're able to assign these videos that you'll watch instead for the what would have been on the Thursday night classes. So this is a hybrid class, so it's really important that you attend on the only night that we meet, which is Tuesday. Okay. Overview of assignments. So 60% of your grade will come from the project grades. 5% will come from what are called these preview assignments. I'll go over that in a second. And then 15% of your grades from these practice assignments. And then 20% of your grade is from these formative activities, which actually are project checkpoints that help you get to your final draft of the project. So again, I'll talk about that in a second. All right, so you have your summative assessments, like I said, projects. These are a way for you to kind of show comprehension for what we learn in class. You actually get feedback on your projects and you submit checkpoints. And then I give you feedback. And as long as you follow my feedback, generally it's pretty straightforward. You make your edits and then you upload it for your final draft. And then whatever grade you get on the final draft, it's based off of accuracy. We'll kind of discuss that a little bit more as we introduce our first project. The preview and practice assignments. Preview assignments are meant to be completed before an in-class activity or before like a video lesson, and it kind of gets you ready, kind of practices some basic skills that you might need, or kind of revisit some ideas that we covered earlier in the course. And then you have your in-class activity, which is like your notes for the course. Or the Edpuzzle videos, which are like your notes for the course. And then the practice assignments come after the in-class activities or after the Edpuzzles for the course. These preview and practice assignments, they're completed in an online homework platform connected to the course. So again, I'll go over that in our first night of class. Okay. And then lastly, these activities, these are your project checkpoints that you're going to be uploading. We don't really have any discussion, notebook checks, or quizzes. It's really going to be the checkpoints from your project that are going to make up this activities grade. Okay. So in general, make sure you are staying on track. Try not to submit things late. MAT162 will have projects for which time will be provided to get clarification on questions. So definitely come to class with questions. Be very careful with the use of AI. I know we're all very tempted to, type in our direction prompts for a project or a practice assignment and then copy and paste the answer. Just so all of our documents that we are submitted here are ran through an AI detection. So we don't want to be flagged for, work that's not our own. In a lot of cases, I would have to meet with you if anything came up. So please make sure we don't get into trouble with AI use. Just do your own work, do your own best work, and good things will come. Okay. So generally, make sure you're checking your DTCC email daily. Make sure you attend your scheduled classes. Reach out directly to me via email. Attend student hours as needed, and then which are like meetings before, after class, or that Thursday Zoom, like I said. And then make sure you're utilizing the tutoring center. So that's the course policies and expectations. Let's go a little bit more into the types of assignments that you'll see. I talked about it a little bit. So let me go back to the Start Here tab on the left-hand side, and I'll scroll down to the Learning Cycle. Okay, so like I said, before you have your in-class activities, you'll complete these preview assignments where you work alone. It's going to be on the homework platform on foundational skills for the upcoming lesson. Then you have these in-class activities. These are like your notes. You don't turn these in anywhere. These are simply for you to keep, kind of like you would like type out or write out notes as you get ready for your next test. And these in-class activities will have a lot of collaboration in class. You guys will work in groups to kind of discuss the problems and then share answers. After we have these in-class activities, and also these in-class activities, some of them are Edpuzzle videos that you watch, right? And you take notes. After these in-class activities, you have practice assignments, which you practice what was learned in the in-class activity or the Edpuzzle video. And these all lead up to projects. There are no exams for the course, simply just projects, okay? So some more information on that below. Also, if you click on content on the left-hand side, you'll see our semester schedule. So I tried to create a schedule for you that is very detailed that you can reference if you need to. So you can kind of see what's coming up in week 1, the assignments that we'll kind of cover in class, what's the asynchronous video lessons below that. So here is Edpuzzle. I'll go over that in a second, but if you click on it, it'll take you to edpuzzle.com and you'll sign up with our class code. And then you fill out these either digital notebook files, or you can use the textbook, which is like a workbook, to fill out your notes. So I'll go over the Edpuzzle videos in a second. On the right-hand side, you have your assignments that are due in this week, in week 1, and then what's coming up next week. So generally the way I layered this course schedule is that like whatever's in this tab is kind of what's going to be due at the beginning of next week. So what's due in week 2 are the following assignments here. And it looks like a lot. It is. For the first week, we have a lot of mini assignments, so just kind of be aware. Some of the busier weeks of the course are actually the first few weeks. Okay, and then same thing for week 2. You can kind of see what's going to be covered in class, what are the videos, and then what are the assignments that are coming up the following week. Okay, and you can see that format. So if you have something going on, you have a surgery, or you have something going on like in week 7, and you want to see what we're covering, you want to try to work ahead, maybe during like week 5 and 6, you kind of know that you can. All right, so just definitely use the schedule as your advantage, as an advantage. Okay. All right, going back to content. All right, scroll down too far. Okay. You have this key terms. This is really nice if you are working on a project. There's actually a Google Doc with all the different vocabulary that we cover within each unit. So if you forgot what a word meant, like this idea, discrete variable, you're going to see that word in our first project. What does that represent? You can actually look here and it gives you some examples too. Okay, scrolling down on the left-hand side, you also have statistical applets that we use in this course. If you ever need a review of how to use one of these applets, there's a video of an instructor kind of reminding you how to go through that process, so keep an eye out for that. Here's an important one, Access Edpuzzle. This is where you sign up for Edpuzzle, which is the video watching platform for our course. So to do so, you're going to click on this Edpuzzle in the right-hand corner. You're going to select I'm a student. It opens in a new window. Select Sign Up in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you do I'm a student, sign up with Edpuzzle, and then enter this class code that was generated, ENOVARO, and it will basically take you to the course page to sign up, and you hit Join Class. And from there, you're going to see the videos that are associated with the class. So I'm going to show you my view. Obviously, it's going to be different than a student view. But basically, you're going to see that the work is set up in different units. So like Unit 1, you have these video lessons. And this isn't all for week 1, don't worry. But the first several are. And so you're going to watch them as you take notes within your notebook. And I'll go over that again in class during our first night of class. All right. Here you have access to the course projects. We'll talk a little bit more about the first project, which is the project and data collection plan. And then we'll all have projects 1, 2, and 3. So there's really like 4 projects if you count the project plan. And so we'll talk about that throughout the course of the semester. You can find all the content for this course if you go through the individual units on the left-hand side. So I could go to Unit 1, Lesson 3. And then I could click into there and find the preview, the in-class activities. I could scroll down and find the Lesson 3 practice assignment. However, I want you to be aware that what's really helpful is the course schedule, the semester schedule that I gave you. If you click on semester schedule, you can find all of those assignments and links actually through that schedule itself. So definitely take advantage of the schedule because it kind of gives you everything in one place. Okay. You'll also see that my weekly announcements, I hyperlink everything for what's due. So that should also save you some time from having to like scroll through all the folders on the course and finding everything. Okay. Cool. So that's it for content on the left-hand side. Activities, assignments. This is where you're going to submit your project assignments. We'll go over that a little bit more in class. There's no real discussions for the class or quizzes for MAT162, so don't worry about that. For grades, if you click on grades and then grades for yourself, I would do this on a weekly basis just to make sure you're not missing anything that's past due. So that's how you can kind of check your grades each week without me having to tell you or waiting until your midterm or final grade. Each week, I would recommend kind of clicking on grades, and double checking your grades. Okay. Okay, so that's the MAT 162 page. This course is MAT 162, but it's also associated with MAT 062, which is the support class. So there is a separate Brightspace D2L page for MAT 062. So if you click on that, it'll take you right there. So here you have MAT 062 statistical reasoning support. So the welcome message isn't really detailed here because I have most of the information in MAT 162, and all of the course expectations are really the same. What we'll be doing in the MAT 062 is kind of giving you an opportunity to ask questions, to practice, and to get ready for your upcoming project. So I don't want you to think about MAT 062 as like more work. It's really like support for the work that you already have in MAT 162. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in class, but really the only place that you really need to recognize here is where we're going to have these kind of check for understanding. I don't want to call them quizzes. They're listed under activities quizzes, but they're really like for feedback. And basically, you're going to complete one of these just about every other week or so, in which we'll kind of practice what we've been learning and really giving you some practice before you get to see it on the project. Okay. Other than that, there's no other assignments. So there's six activities total. There's no other assignments that you submit. A lot of it will be, us reviewing either some notes or answering some questions, or maybe completing some of our work from MAT162 just to kind of ease the burden of having so much to do. So when I say, the main course runs from 6 to 750, and this support class runs from 8 to 850, this support class is really what it sounds like. It's support. Okay, so I don't want you to feel like it's a whole second course that you're taking. It does have a grade associated, so I want to be careful with kind of just saying, don't worry about it. There is a grade associated with it. So let me go into show you the course the breakdown of the grade for that. So for the support class grade, it's a pass-fail, and the summative assessments make up 40%. So that's the same projects from MAT 162. So you don't have like a second set of projects. It's the same. 5 and 15 for preview and practice. So that's the same as the main class MAT 162 as well. But these formative support class activities that we'll do just about every other week, that's going to make up 40% of your grade. So you want to make sure you're not just like not doing the support class, not going or not paying attention or not submitting your assignments. It does have a grade on its own. And we wouldn't want to pass the MAT 162 and fail this class, which has happened. So be careful with that. And I trust that as long as you're attending class, you'll be in pretty good shape with the support class, as long as you're doing well in the main class. Okay. Other than that, those are our course pages. Sorry, that was a lot of rambling, but hopefully you got a lot of information here, and obviously I can answer more questions. I'll give a brief overview during our class on Tuesday, but this was really helpful just so you can get your bearings and kind of know what you need to do going into our first week. Okay. Other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and look forward to teaching you all this semester, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. All right, bye.